Welcome to the Wealth and Love Blueprint, where love meets logic and money reveals the truth.
We need to talk about one of the biggest myths in the dating world. It's an idea that's so counterintuitive, it's probably going to feel completely wrong at first. But trust me, it holds the key to a level of attraction that you've likely been missing out on.
Just let that sink in for a second. I know it goes against everything you've probably ever heard about making a move or showing a girl you're interested. But the psychology behind this statement, that's the secret sauce that takes you from being just another guy to the one she can't get out of her head.
I know what you're thinking. It sounds crazy, right? Your instincts are probably screaming at you that this is the fastest way to land yourself in the friend zone. But what if those instincts are dead wrong? We're about to dive into why this approach is so psychologically powerful. So let's get right into it. Let's break down what I call the touch paradox. This is the psychological trap where your best intentions, showing interest, trying to be confident, end up completely backfiring and actually pushing her away. It makes sense on the surface, doesn't it? You touch her arm, maybe guide her by the small of her back. You think you're showing her you're a man who isn't afraid to take the lead. I mean, that's what we see in the movies. But this is built on a massive misunderstanding of how attraction actually sparks in a woman's mind. So, take a look at this. On the left side, that's what you think your touch is communicating. Confidence, direct interest, all that good stuff. But now, look at what's really happening in her mind, on the right. When it's too soon or just predictable, it doesn't read as confidence. It's heard as a need for a reaction. It's a huge red flag that you're just following a script she's seen 100 times before. And just like that, you go from being a potential romantic interest to just another guy trying to get something.
And this right here really nails the problem. Instead of building attraction, rushing the physical stuff just makes you seem less valuable. It subconsciously screams that you need her physical reassurance, that you're not fully in control of yourself, and it completely kills the mystery, which, by the way, is essential for real attraction to grow.
Okay, so if touch isn't the main thing, then what the heck is? Well, this is where it gets really interesting. We have to shift our entire focus away from the physical and onto the psychological. We have to understand what's actually happening inside our mind. Let's talk about the attraction brain. The first ingredient, and it's a big one, is anticipation. See, our brains are literally wired to release more dopamine, that's the pleasure and motivation chemical, when we're chasing a reward than when we actually get it. So when you hold back physically, you create this open space for her mind to wonder, to anticipate. And that mental chase, that's where attraction truly ignites. The second ingredient, and maybe the most crucial of all, is emotional tension. You know that feeling, right? That electric energy in the air, the unspoken what-if that just hangs between two people. You don't build that by rushing to touch her. You build it with things like holding eye contact just a second too long, with playful banter, with a little bit of unpredictability. So, this is the core shift. This is what you need to understand. Your goal isn't to give her instant satisfaction, it's to create anticipation. Your focus isn't on physical contact, it's on building emotional tension. You stop being an open book and you become a mystery she wants to solve. And your validation? It becomes a rare gift, not something you just hand out for free. And here it is. This might be the most important takeaway of this whole explainer. Attraction isn't just about what she feels when she's standing right there with you. It's about what she feels when she's not with you. By holding back, by creating that space, you give her the mental real estate to think about you, to wonder about you, and to let that feeling of attraction grow all on its own. All right, the theory is great, but how do you actually do this stuff? Let's get practical. I'm going to give you 4 specific psychological triggers you can use to build all this tension without ever having to rely on premature physical touch. We're going to go through 4 super powerful tools: dominating eye contact, slowing down your speech, using push-pull dynamics, and using what I call strategic validation. These are the things that create that psychological spark we've been talking about, and they can turn a totally normal conversation into something she'll be replaying in her mind later. First up, eye contact. Instead of looking away nervously, I want you to hold her gaze for just a beat longer than what feels totally comfortable. But, and this is the key part, you are the one who looks away first. It's such a small thing, but it's a massive demonstration of self-control. It sends a nonverbal message that says, hey, I'm interested, but my world doesn't revolve around your approval. That tiny moment of tension and release is incredibly attractive. Next up, your voice. When we get nervous or we're trying too hard to impress someone, what do? We talk fast. We fill every silence.
You're going to do the opposite. Consciously slow down. Speak with intention. Get comfortable with pauses. It signals massive confidence. It shows you're not in some desperate rush to win her over, which ironically makes everything you say land with way more impact.
Now this one, it's a classic for a reason. Push-pull. You pull her in by showing some interest, maybe with a compliment, and then you playfully push her away with a little bit of a tease or by just turning your attention away for a moment. This isn't about being a jerk or being manipulative. It's about being unpredictable. It breaks that boring, predictable script of most dates and creates a little emotional roller coaster that is so much more engaging.
And finally, validation. I want you to think of your approval and your compliments like they're a currency. If you're just handing them out left and right, they become worthless, right? But if you hold back and then you deliver a genuine, specific compliment at the perfect moment after you've built up some of that tension, whoa, it lands with 1,000 times more impact. It becomes a prize, something she feels like she actually earned.
Okay, look, these triggers aren't just a set of tactics to memorize. If you want them to actually work, they have to come from a real, fundamental shift in your mindset, in your entire goal for the interaction. This is about actually having self-control, not just faking it. Let's talk about the high-value mindset. Most guys walk into a bar or onto a date with this question just playing on a loop in the back of their head. How do I get her to like me? But that question, it comes from a place of neediness, and it immediately puts you in a position where you're chasing her approval, which hands her all the power. This is the power shift right here. You're going to stop asking what you can get from her number, a date, her validation, and you start asking, what can I give her? And I'm not talking about drinks or compliments. I'm talking about a unique, engaging, memorable, emotional experience. You become the director of the interaction, not just an actor hoping to get the part. And this is the ultimate reframe. Your goal is no longer to get a specific reaction out of her. Your goal is to create an emotional state, a state of fun, of intrigue, of tension, of curiosity. And when you focus on creating that atmosphere, the reactions you want, they just follow naturally. They become a byproduct. So, let's pull this all together. When you make this shift, when you truly get this, your entire reality with women changes. This is the real power of mastering psychological attraction.
And we've come full circle. The very moment you stop trying to get that physical validation, that's the moment you create a vacuum in her mind. And her brain will rush to fill that space with thoughts of you. Your restraint, that becomes your most powerful tool. You become a puzzle she wants to solve, not a predictable story she's already read a dozen times.
Seriously, think about it. In movies, maybe in your own life, haven't you ever seen that person who just seems effortlessly magnetic? The one who isn't running around trying to impress everyone? That's not an accident. That is this principle in action. Why do you think that works so well? I'd love to hear what you think in the comments below, because once you see this dynamic, I promise you'll start seeing it everywhere.
By aligning your heart and your finances, you unlock true growth. Subscribe to Wealth and Love Blueprint.